Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Dutchy Gaming, and my first diary update for the Lightning Strike Raider. It's going to be quite a quick video because I'm not really progressed that far in terms of I'm nowhere near like a decent set of gear. I'm certainly a million miles away from endgame gear, but I just wanted to go through like my League Start experience. I've got a few highlights from some maps I've done. If you want to see how the leveling went, there should be VODs on my Twitch for... I think I got up to Act 8, Act 9, and then I did some sort of early mid-tier mapping today. Half of it's probably muted because I play copyright music in them because I don't care about them striking me. So some of it might be muted. So I'll go through my character in brief detail. So we are level 82. We have died a huge amount of times compared to normal, so 18 times, which actually is not too bad, though there's been so many close calls. So what do I think about the League? It's a tough one. I think Sentinel works quite well. It's just the fact that it's not rewarding enough. Some of the rare monsters are way overtuned in terms of the mods. Like, they've nerfed the health a little bit, but the health was a problem, but it wasn't the main problem. The main problem is that there's too many combinations of mods that with each other, unless you've got like a 5 mil DPS character in a tier 1 map, you can't kill them. Like, you get rejuvenation and vampiric at the same time. You can't kill the monster unless you've got, I would say, 500k DPS in tier 1 maps, which you're not going to have. And I think the whole point of Essence is there a really good way to get your character geared when you don't have much when you've left the campaign. And they've just kind of removed that because you have to gear up first, then tackle the essences. And that, to me, is the wrong way around. The other big gripe I've got with it is it makes map bosses insignificant. Because you'll fight a rare monster that might take 20 seconds to kill. It's a tough fight. Puts 100 different status effects on you. You then go to the map boss and you kill him in 2 seconds. Now, that is not a sign for GGG to go and buff the map bosses by 1,000,000%. But it should be a sign that the rare enemies are too tanky and too juiced up. Like, they shouldn't overscope a map boss. Maybe some of the map bosses are a bit weak. But when you get to T16 maps, they've got a decent pool of health. But then when a rare monster's got 10 times the health, all players are going to do is just avoid rare monsters. They're not going to use their Sentinel. So it's basically avoid League. And I still think there's a lot they need to do to fix it. Not saying it's not enjoyable. It just doesn't make sense at the moment. And if this is a sign of POE 2, I don't think they're going in the right direction. But that's enough of me whinging. Let's look at the character. So these are the claws I left the campaign with. I don't want to dual wield. I just haven't had a good shield drop. So there's no point dropping the speed of dual wielding because they are both decent claws. Just for the sake of having a shield, it needs to bring something to the party, as it were. I've got a +2 strike helmet that I bought for 10C. Then crafted it with greed essences. The amulet I bought for 4 chaos. I just wanted something with attributes on so I could drop all the attribute nodes that you often have to take on the tree with this build to make sure you can equip your gear and your gems. The 6 link I bought uncorrupted for... It was quite expensive. I think it was 80 chaos. It came as it was, but it had life crafted on it. I've removed the life and crafted element avoidance until I can get the avoidance somewhere else because I just think it's massively important. I think if you're going maps without it as a raider, you're making a mistake. This ring I purchased for 4C because it had decent combination of Ellie res, it had some Ellie damage, and it had some life. This ring is garbage. I think I found it in Act 3 and it's got some damage on it. Some strength. Do I need the strength? I don't even need the strength. The only reason I haven't replaced this ring is because I'm lazy. I should 100% be looking to replace this ring, and it is something I will do before the next update. And this is the danger when you're playing a game and you kind of just go on and you plow through map after map after map. Like, I'm not struggling with maps. I'm just struggling with the odd monster. I don't look at my gear. Look at this ring. Like, you might see this on the floor in Act 5 and not pick it up because it's that shit. And I'm wearing it at level 80. So I promise you, next update, that ring's gone. The boots are decent. These drop like this, and I crafted the almond avoidance. Got quite a nice enchant on them as well, so when I get hit, we get a ton more cold damage. The belt I bought for 8 chaos, I believe. Might even have been less than that, actually. I think it was 5. I just wanted something with a little bit of early damage, but plenty of res. And anything with like T1, T2 life was really expensive. But as you went down the tiers, it got a lot cheaper. I'm not too bothered about life until I push into red maps. So this belt kind of suited what I wanted. The gloves, again, are absolute shit. I found these in Act 6, maybe. Again, haven't checked. These aren't as bad as the ring because they have got some int that I do probably need. Yeah, I do. And they got some life. They've got some attack speed. So they're not the worst. But again, they're not the best. But I need to find some intelligence before I get rid of them. So I'm probably going to wait until I go to get these frenzy charges. So then I don't have to worry about getting intelligence on the gear. And I think that's everything. I'll quickly show you the claws. They are rubbish lightning damage, rubbish attack speed, rubbish lightning damage, rubbish fire damage, and rubbish attack speed. So I could certainly be doing better, but I'm doing okay. And I don't want to spend money on claws because they are crazy money. So I am saving up my essences till I get like maybe a level 78 base, preferably Gemini Claw, and then I'm going to start crafting using my essences. The idea is to bulk sell the essences of dread and use these essences of wrath. I just need to decide whether I want to take the risk and do deafening because it's going to be less crafts and there's more likely I end up with nothing at the end of it, or do I go shrieking because we could still get a claw that's probably going to double my DPS. And then I have a shield that I have picked up which has spell suppression, ailment avoidance, and a res and an open prefix to craft life. The issue is that ailment avoidance isn't high enough, but it can roll high enough. So if I don't find a good shield before I get a divine in harvest, I'll use it on this and hope that I can get that to 30% craft life, and then that's fairly decent. Flask wise, I still haven't found a granite flask, so I'm running a phasing flask because I'm only at 91% if I'm not at full life, I think. So this just tots me up, but this will be going soon as well. I need to craft my flasks. They're absolutely terrible. I'm just waiting until I get a bit more currency. So in terms of what I've done to get this far, I have played, I'd say about 12 hours probably. Yeah, so I've done quite a bit of AFK time because I've been trying to help people with their build. But I would say it's 12 hours to get this far, which some people will be like, oh, that's really good. And some people will be like, that is slow as. I've just been taking my time and enjoying it. I know if I pushed higher tier maps, I would absolutely be hating it because I wouldn't be leveling up. I'll be dying all the time. There's no point. I might as well stay at lower tier content and get some currency. So I did do the heist tactic. I leveled up to about level 62, I think, 60-ish in the campaign. I didn't buy contracts every level up. I waited until I got to about early 50s because I didn't plan to be in a heist for that long. As it turned out, as you can see in the footage, when I killed Valenta just before I went heisting, she dropped a cold iron point. So I sold that for 1.9x. Didn't really then need to heist, but I did anyway because I had all these contracts. I had lots of stuff almost ready for like chaos recipes. So then I did that and farmed about another 70 or 80 chaos, I would say. Bought some of the gear, used some on the map device. No idea where the rest of it's gone. I should have more. So I must have wasted it somewhere. So I probably only stayed in heist for like, I would say 45 minutes. I've got more contracts still. If I decide actually I want to go back and do these demolition contracts to get a bit more raw chaos, I can. But I want to kind of move away from it. That part of the plan is done. So we're on to the next one. In terms of Atlas progress, it's 45 out of 115. Again, I rushed essences and shaping the mountains. Then I went shaping the valleys. Now I'm going to expedition. If I really start struggling, I'm going to go shrines instead of expedition so I can at least get some help in the maps. But considering my gear is pretty naff, I'm actually coping okay in sort of mid-tier yellow maps. So I will show you a quick map. So here's one we need to do for completion. Now bear with me, I haven't done a T10 map yet. So this will be a learning experience for both to see how this build performs in its shit state. So this is not ideal with this many mods, but at this stage, you can't waste currency like scouring and alching. It's a shame. I'm probably going to lose XP because I'm fairly close to leveling up. So we're on the Eater of Worlds grind as well. But if I keep moving and striking, there's a chance I can survive. And the map bosses don't normally cause too much of an issue. As we all know, it's the rare monsters that ruin your day. So let's go and have a look. So I probably need, realistically, to full clear this map because I don't have any T10s. I don't think I've got any T9s, to be honest. So I would love to get a map drop somewhere from here. Those monsters that have the energy. There's some monsters that have a white energy shield, and if you hit them, you get stunned. And I'm not waiting until it goes. I'm just going to hit them. If I get stunned, I get stunned. I'm sure I'm going to incur a few deaths for that throughout the league, but GGG have built a game that's basically all about speed. If you stand still too long, you die. You don't have time to wait and see what energy shield a monster might have before you decide whether to hit him, because then you're dead. But as you can see, I'm fine until you'll get a rare monster, and you do end up getting in a bit of trouble with some disgusting like damage over time. I don't know even what half these things are, but I see lots of symbols pop up on the screen. I see my health go down. I know I'm probably in trouble. But this is a tier 10 8 mob map. I've got an absolute ton of scope for upgrades, so I'm quite happy. It is low life at the moment. Like, I know it's squishy, it's 3.5k life, there's no fizz mitigation, but I haven't found I've needed it. Like Elusive, Grace, Defiance Banner, I would really love a Granite Flask, because even a few thousand armor is going to help. You don't think it would, but the difference of running that flask and not running it is quite big. So I don't think we're quite going to be able to level up before we get to this boss, which is a shame. Oh, we got an altar. I have to use that as well, I guess, aren't we? And that's the other thing I've noticed about is the off screens you get because you're using Vile Lightning Strike is insane. Like, there is a lot of Arch Nemesis mods that fire projectiles on death, and your Vile Lightning Strike mega off screen, the projectile can still reach you. It can reach like across 2 screens. It's pretty insane. I've died twice from the poison mods, the toxic mods, from being off screened. Increased blind effect. I really don't want that, do I? In fact, I'm not doing that. That's just silly. This is going to be awful. So let's go and corrupt this essence. And you never know, we might get lucky. I also will say while we're doing this, I find the visual clarity of the league absolutely awful with all these new bits that have been added in. I find it really hard. I mean, I'm old, but I find it hard to see what's going on a lot of the time on screen. And they're expecting us to stop and look at mods on monsters. Do they do anything? I don't think so. So, like, they're pretty ludicrous compared to the rest of... Like, I can't even see this monster that I'm meant to be killing. But I know he's alive. There he is. But it's just... Yeah, it's a bit nuts, some of the mods on this. Like, that's not fun doing that for ages. And then you get to the map boss and he folds like paper. I've picked up a few embers. I'm not going to use them until I at least get gear that's worth... You know, if I get... Let's say I get lucky and get a +1 strike. I don't want to do it on a rubbish pair of gloves. So is that the boss there? Yeah, so let's see. So this is with Enfeeble. And he's going down fairly easy compared to those other enemies. It's just... Yeah, I think they need another balance pass. But maybe this is the way they wanted it to be. But to me, it looks pretty awful. But yeah, that's a suboptimal setup. It's clear and fine in late tier yellow mats. I'm happy with it. Obviously, I'm not happy with the amount of times I've died. But it is what it is. And I'm enjoying it. I'm making currency. I'm farming maps fairly quick. Last thing to know, I have got Uber Lab done, and if anyone else did Uber Lab today, it was absolutely horrible. Like, I've never seen more trap runs in a lab ever. I think there was 7 or 8. Every path was really long. Luckily, the final room is not too bad, but overall, it was a struggle. I did it at like level 78 or 79 with this rubbish gear, and it wasn't easy, but I just wanted to get it out of the way because I hate lab. But that's now done. Originally, I'd respec'd into Onslaught for high shenanigans, but now we're back on the kind of Avatar of the Slaughter, Avatar of the Veil route. And that's really it. other than just map progression, I've been doing what I said I was going to do, which was as soon as I unlock all the essence nodes, I'm going to put in all my white maps and just run them and get essences. So I'm halfway through doing that. Once I've got a decent stack of essences, I'll start crafting and selling, and then we'll go on from there. I know that was a super quick video, but I've just finished stream and I've got loads of stuff I've got to do tonight family-wise. So it's, yeah, a dirty and basic video today. There's not a POB because I'm kind of just transitioning into the build, really. But all I will say is, if you are struggling, just stay in lower tier maps. Like I was still in white maps at like level 77. It was quite enjoyable. Still getting currency. Monsters are actually killable. Unless you're desperate that I need to get those bosses down in like the first 2 days, you're going to have to spend money to do it. Other than that, just level at your own pace, nice and comfortable. I've really enjoyed the build again. I didn't think I would because I played it like four leagues in a row, I think. But I am still really enjoying it. But that's it for me. If you did want to check the character out, I'll put my account name in the description below, and then you can check the character out and see how scuffed it is. I'm going to try and bring another one out on Monday. There won't be one tomorrow because I'm not planning to play tomorrow. I'm going to have a bit of a break and then be fresh for Monday. And then hopefully there'll be one coming out every day after that with the progress until we at least get maybe, I don't know, let's say we get the first 2 watchstones. No, first 3. Let's say we get Maven down, then I might stop. But I know people are keen to kind of see the progress day by day. But that's everything for this video. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time.